Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law she can't use me to replace my dead twin? I, 35 male, am an identical twin. I know I meant to say was because my brother died, but I can't do it. Maybe one day I will, but until then, it will be I am. My brother Sam died last year. His passing hit me, my nephews, 5 and 7, and my sister-in-law hard. We both went into depression, and I'm still getting help for my grief. Sister-in-law refused help. Now that I have time to think it over, Amber clung on to me, or rather what I look like. Me and Sam are complete opposites. He wanted a traditional family, and I'm all about business and traveling. After his funeral, she asked if I could stay at her house, which I shouldn't have because it's what started this whole mess. A day turned into weeks and then months. I was basically doing what Sam did, husband and father, just without the sex. My friends tried to warn me what was happening, but I didn't listen. A couple of weeks ago, an incident woke me up to how wrong this was. I was out with the boys and I saw an old friend. We caught up and she invited me to go out with her. It was the first time since Sam died that I was interested in going out. When we got home, the boys told Amber about the invite and she got upset and accused me of cheating on her. She kept saying, "How could you do this, Sam?" I said, "I'm not Sam." But she completely ignored that fact. I left with her screaming at me. I went to a friend's house, and all through the following weeks, Amber was constantly texting and calling, asking when I'm coming home and saying the boys missed me. I missed them too, but I had finally woken up and told her she needs help. I apologized to her for letting it go on that long, but it upset her more. She wanted to meet and sort it out, and I told her she can't replace Sam with me, and she lost it on the phone. I hung up. Her parents approached me at work and asked that I help her. I said I can't, and they said they are afraid she's going to do something bad to herself, and that she only seems calm around me. I refused. My nephews have been calling and texting, saying they are scared. I told her parents, and they said I can make it right by helping her. I'm starting to feel bad for my nephews. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to help? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but dude, those kids are stuck in a potentially dangerous situation. Contact CPS, your parents, her parents, whatever it takes to get those kids out. She's clearly not well and shouldn't be trusted around her kids right now. Absolutely this. Amber definitely needs help, and so do the children. It sounds as though some grief counseling would help you as well. I'm so sorry for your loss. No a-hole here, obviously. The family seems to be delusional. The only one recognizing this has become a problem is the OP. He's going to have to force her into treatment. This woman isn't evil or crazy, she's broken. She needs help. Not the a-hole. You need to tell not only her parents, but the rest of your family that they need to look at possibly involuntary commitment because of how concerned you are. She needs to snap out of this delusion. And the kids need therapy so goddamn badly. I'm sorry for your loss, and I very much get that you were trying to do a good thing, and it just kind of messed into this clusterfuck. You all need therapy, but she might need to be committed for her sake and that of the kids. Her parents need to step in. I love my nephews. I'm fond of their mother, but I am not okay with stepping into a role that isn't mine. I'm grieving my twin, my brother, my other half. She isn't. She just slotted me in there, and if she'd initiated sex, I would have figured out what was going on. But I'm dumb and sad, and I didn't think it through properly. I'm not Sam. I'm not her husband. I'm not the father of her boys. And everyone needs to recognize that. I'm going away for a while until this is taken care of. I do not want to hear anything negative about this afterwards being my fault. Her actions are her own, even if she's not well. You're her parents. Take care of her and your grandkids. You need to step away to a whole other city. Heal yourself and give them all space. And please call the authorities so she's not hurting the children more. Her family is concerned, but clearly thinks if someone else just pretends to be her husband, everything is going to be fine. Those children are not safe. This is the most terrifying thing out of a series of terrifying things happening. The whole entire family needs counseling, and I mean like yesterday. Next story. Am I the a-hole for going no contact with my adult son after he officiated the wedding between his dad and his dad's mistress, who is also younger than my son? Backstory: been divorced 5 years. Ex-husband had a secret affair 8 years ago with a 23-year-old when he was 48 and totally blew our family apart. He has also been to rehab twice for sex addiction and anger issues, and was also physically violent with me, this son, and my other kids during my 33-year marriage. When we found out about the affair, my husband went crazy and started threatening all of us, threatening to get our son fired from his job and took money and resources away from him because we were both speaking out publicly about his affair and he didn't like the damage it was doing to his reputation. Fast forward a few years, and my son flipped on me and went back to his dad because his dad is taking care of him by financing his startup, even though I was the one that took care of him financially when his dad kicked us all off a cliff. Son is 30 now. And last year, our son got his efficient license and officiated the wedding between his dad and the mistress, who is 29. I blocked my son and went no contact. He's also made derogatory comments to friends of mine saying it takes two to tango, and that the mistress is better for his dad because there's no drama like there was with me. Yeah, because she hasn't been gaslighted and cheated on for decades. Edit to add, I'm afraid that I did not give enough context to the degree of chaos that was going on during our divorce and the discovery of my ex-husband's affair with a girl younger than our older children. My husband at the time was abusing all of us financially, took one of my daughter's cars away, stopped paying for another one of our daughter's college, threatened to get the son that performed the marriage ceremony fired from his job, and sent all of our children cease and desist letters from his attorney, threatening to sue them if they spoke out about the abuse that occurred in our family over the years. For those of you that say my marriage was between me and my husband and that I involved my children in it, I agree with you, but what was I supposed to do when my kids were totally locked out of access to money and resources that were our family money? Because my husband was the one that had access to all of it, and I was scraping to get by, even having to take a loan out just to pay for my divorce attorneys. Was I supposed to tell my kids, who at the time were 15 to 26 years old, hey, you're on your own, figure it out, this is between your dad and me? While some of them were adults at the time, they had also been conditioned to live a lifestyle depending on our family money, as far as paying for colleges, cars, and things that could help launch them into adulthood. So I was the present parent that was trying to pick up the pieces of it all. One of my sons was cutting himself, and I was taking him to psych hospitals. One of my daughters was cycling through suicidal ideation constantly, while my husband was off taking his girlfriend on trips and posting about it online. My daughter saw a girl their age posting about $6,000 handbags, while their entire world and security were blown apart. I was the one taking care of everyone and making sure my kids were all seeing a therapist, and I was the one paying for it. So to those of you who say this was between my husband and me, was I just supposed to walk away and abandon my children too? I'm very sorry for your situation. That feels like a stunning betrayal by your son. Does your son complain about the no contact? Where are the other children in this? To me, it feels like this may be the best option for now, but no contact can also harden into complete estrangement over time. You will have to decide which is best for you, not the a-hole. My 2 daughters I am close with, and they are also no contact with their 3 brothers and their dad. They were devastated to watch their father give time and attention and resources to a girl their age when they have been struggling to make it on their own. The son who did the wedding tells people I abandoned him when I did no such thing. In fact, had given him over $200,000 of my divorce settlement that I desperately need to help his startup, and was trying to engage with him until the wedding ceremony. That is what made me finally block him. Prior to that, I had made numerous attempts to go see a therapist with him and said he could even choose the therapist and I would pay for it. Not the a-hole. However, and I'm saying this while holding your hand, children who grow up in abusive households, especially males, tend to emulate the behavior of the abuser. Sounds as if your son has adopted your ex's traits of abusing you. Setting boundaries with him is the only way you'll be able to have any kind of relationship, if at all. For your own sake, let this user and abuser of a son go. Focus on those who love you. Say a prayer for him and keep it moving. Do not engage. Thank you. This is what my trauma therapist has told me as well. Next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my husband and mother-in-law out? I gave birth 2 months ago, and my mother-in-law flew in from England to help. I never asked her to. She bought the tickets before asking, so I felt forced to agree. She has been helpful with making dinner, but refuses to help with the baby at night or pick up around the house, which is what I really need help with. I end up cleaning up after her because she cooks but refuses to do the dishes, and she constantly complains every time I turn on the garbage disposal. For 2 weeks, it's been non-stop complaints about America, the food, the people being fake, the weather, etc. At first, I ignored it, but lately her comments have turned personal. Example, after she got her hair done a few days ago, I told her she looked amazing. She rolled her eyes and said, "Amazing? Really? Why is everyone here so fake? Even my own mom didn't say that on my wedding day." Another time, I praised the roast dinner she made after skipping lunch because of baby cluster feeding. I said, "Oh my God, this is so good." And she and my husband looked at each other and laughed, then made comments about how, yeah, it's good, but who reacts like that to food? I kept my irritation to myself and stayed quiet. I went to bed right after and didn't even talk to either of them. They were up for hours drinking wine and watching a movie while my daughter kept waking up every hour to feed, and they refused to turn the TV down so I could sleep in between feeding. But this morning was the breaking point. While breastfeeding, I told my baby, as I always do, that she's beautiful, amazing, and loved, and that she'll have so much fun when she starts running, describing her facial features and how they're so pretty. Mother-in-law overheard and said, "Oh no, you're not turning that poor girl into a fake bimbo too, are you?" That made me see red. I told her she's been mocking and disrespecting me in my own home, and she's not welcome anymore. I told her to go to a hotel, because I don't want that negativity around my daughter. My husband blew up, said I'm hormonal, ungrateful, and overreacting. He said his mom isn't leaving and that I should be thankful for her help. Help I never asked for and she doesn't give anyway. I told him he could leave with her. It escalated, and I had my uncle come handle it because I didn't want them near me. The house we live in was inherited from my parents when they passed, so it hurt even more that they're disrespecting me in my home, my safe space. They go out to eat together but tell me not to come because the baby doesn't have an immune system yet. When I walk into a room, they look at each other and laugh, but won't say why. Now my husband has me blocked. I don't know where we're going to go from here. Am I the a-hole for kicking them out? Did I overreact? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Why isn't your husband helping with the baby at night, tidying the house and cleaning up after dinner? Your mother-in-law has overstayed her welcome, and your husband is feeding into her running commentary. You need some time to regroup, and when you speak to your husband again, you need to tell him what you need from him. Because as it stands, he's acting like you're a single mother, and he's on vacation with his mummy. He works as an adjunct professor right now, but he wants to go back to the UK to look for better positions. But I make more money even if we moved, and I don't want to lose my job. I don't think my position transfers to the UK or would pay as much. I'm a CRNA, so we've been at odds over the discrepancy in salary for a while now. I think he's bitter that I won't move and give up my job for him. I think that there were probably a lot more signs about your husband, about your mother-in-law, and about how your husband behaves when his mom is around. I think having a baby brought it all to a head very rapidly. I think you need to not budge at all. If your husband is going to be with you, he is going to be kind and respectful at all times. Or he can go back to his mommy. He didn't want a baby initially. We didn't plan it. But I got pregnant and decided to go through with it. It was a big argument, but I gave him an out. He decided to stay, but I think now he's rethinking that decision. I don't know what to do or what to tell him. I'm just kind of lost and wish my daughter and I were spared this if he just made up his mind from the beginning. The fact that he won't talk to me makes it even harder. Not the a-hole. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this, but speak with an attorney. It won't get any better. That's what my uncle advised me to do, but right now I'm just so lost. Last story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend after she gave birth to our child? I, 25 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 24 female, for over 4 years, and we have been living together for over 3. She's always been the paranoid type, even though I've never given her any reason to be suspicious of me and have no cheating history. I took care of her during her pregnancy while she couldn't work, handled most errands like shopping, and had bought a ring I planned on giving her once she had given birth to the baby. I had set up an elaborate plan with a large group of friends to propose to her at a local water park, because that's where we went on our first date. But given that water slides are generally unsafe for pregnant women, I didn't want to propose just yet, especially with her being so close to her due date. A few weeks before her delivery, I came home from work to find her talking to her friends in our living room. When I walked in, they all began throwing curses at me, accusing me of having cheated on her because my girlfriend's friends had seen me at the mall with another girl. She was crying and screaming like a feral animal, refusing to listen to anything I said, and they basically pressured me into leaving my own house that I paid for by throwing things at me. I called the cops to get all of them kicked out, so my girlfriend left with her friends to go to her parents' house in response, before blocking me on everything. As for the girl in the mall, it just didn't happen. I'm assuming they mistook another person for me, which makes it way worse because that means my girlfriend believed them, with basically zero proof. The only evidence they had was that there were multiple witnesses among them. Not even in my wildest dreams could I ever imagine throwing a tantrum of that degree over an accusation with no evidence, and then still playing the victim. Even though I tried reaching out to my girlfriend by going to her parents' house, I had no defense argument because the event wasn't a twisted story. It was made up entirely. I could offer no explanation or alibi, and in her current mood, she would not take my word over her friend's words. Even her own father, who I'd gotten fairly close to, was cold and told me to leave their house. According to him, even if I didn't cheat, the fact that I threw my pregnant girlfriend out of my house was crossing a line. I had no contact with her until I heard from mutual friends that she gave birth to the baby, at which point I tried again to see her in the hospital. But the hospital staff didn't let me inside her room, at her request. I didn't get to see, let alone hold my own baby, for 3 days after that, until she finally texted me and said she wanted to talk. She said she'd be willing to work through our relationship for our baby's sake, even after everything I'd done, but I'd need to apologize and assure her I'd never do it again. But it's already been nearly a month since the last time we talked, and I don't think I'll ever be able to get over what she did. So I want to bury the whole chapter of my life with her and forget it ever happened. I want to try to get partial custody of our daughter so I can still be present in her life, but I want nothing to do with her mother. Am I the a-hole for thinking this way? Not the a-hole. No proof, no pictures. She wouldn't let you see your child. She was willing to believe her friends without even a photograph. Everyone has cell phones these days. It would have taken a quarter of a second. But fight for equal custody. It's your child too. Yeah, this is the main thing. Everyone has an HD camera in their pocket these days, and the multiple friends that saw him all failed to snap a single photo? BS. What do you mean you couldn't offer an alibi? You said you were at work. You have timesheets. I was at work on the day I came home and found her friends in my living room, but not at the time they claimed I was at the mall. I honestly don't even remember what I was doing on that day, but I certainly was not cheating on her. How do you have no idea where you were that day? Did the friends wait weeks with this story or something? It's more like they spent weeks convincing her and piecing together the truth, which she never once confronted me about, until they all got together to support her in trying to make me confess, by screaming and throwing things at me.